Hey everybody, Sedge here, and I've got to say it is an exciting day. This is the first day of the year that it's actually cool outside, and this marks the beginning of one of the most important dad seasons of the year. Flannel season! I'm so excited. You know what? We need to have a party, but not just any party will do. We're going to have a monster party. So break out that totally ergonomic controller, blow the dust out of that 30-some-year-old cartridge, or don't, because you're not supposed to. It does work, though. And let's get to it. It's time for a skin-meltingly good time. You'll get it later. This is Mark. He is our protagonist, a young boy who likes playing baseball. And we're going to skip ahead a little bit here, but basically he meets a winged alien, totally not a Chozo, merges with him, totally not a symbiote, and sets off to his planet to fight a bunch of monsters. Starts off well enough. Mark here faces off against some psychic kids in school uniforms, which, par for the course when you go to an alien world infested with monsters. Everything looks happy and colorful. It's not exactly what I'd expected going into this, but yeah. Also, for some reason, his clothes have changed. He's now wearing green. I guess maybe he swapped teams when he got there. Anyway, yep, just pounding some little legs and kneecaps. Makes good sense. And now he's merged with Bert to become a flying bird creature that can shoot lasers from its face, beak, I don't even know. Anyway, off to fight the first boss, the pitcher plant. Flytrap might have made more sense, but whatever. You will see that playing as Bert definitely has some advantages. Not only range, but you can fly over some of the obstacles that would otherwise pose a problem. Oh, not every boss is as hard as... Yeah, that one was just dead. And now we have the big change in the world. Yes, Mark has walked across a magical point that has turned this place from kind of messed up Disneyland to, just messed up land. Anyway, he now meets the embodiment of Halloween, the ghost of Halloween past. I don't really know. Some of the better baseball gameplay. Moving on, we reach level 2, or round 2, where he gets to face off kind of the opposite of a mermaid, I guess. Tongue creature. And then, of course, we get to see some of the bosses here. This is the snake that spits out maybe turtles, maybe fat snakes, whatever. Then, of course, the purple crocodile that shoots snakes from its eyes, because that makes great sense. And the egg that shoots bubbles, and for some reason has a tremendous amount of health. And here we meet the second boss. A group of fried creatures coming from what are very clearly telepods, based on the movie The Fly from a few years before this game came out, no doubt. Actually, this is one of the more clever bosses in the game. And we'll get into that in a second. But in any case, prepare for The Fry, coming to a NES console near you in 1989, starring Jeff Goldenbrown. Anyway, this battle goes on, and we see here not just a tempura shrimp, an onion ring, but what appears to be a group of tater tots on a stick. Good fun. Then we have sort of the opposite of a wishing well. Yeah, on to round 3. Homofalling stalactites, a species of floating werewolves, I guess, and some skeletons. Then, of course, we meet the Minotaur, who shoots little cows, as Minotaur do. The toilet paper mummy. And, of course, the bat parasol. And final boss for this level, the spider that apparently likes drinking blood. So yeah, that's fun. Round 4, probably pyramid, infested with scorpions that shoot things, and a variety of other little creatures. My personal favorite, the albino alligator there. Then, of course, the hero we got. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the worm. Here he gets to face a slowpoke, or, a haunted samurai armor. It is quite slow, in fairness. The legless rocker, we'll just call him Mohawk Bob. And one of the more annoying bosses in the game, actually, the crazed cat who throws its own kittens from inside a box. Yeah. Next up, we have Round 5, home of the Loch Ness Monster, the fake shark. Yep, fake shark. And some pretty interesting bosses. This one, a pair of dancing zombies that you don't actually fight. That was definitely cut. Takes much longer. Then we've got the javelin-tossing creature. You don't actually need to catch his javelins. And then the absolute least fun part of this game, Round 6. This place is basically a maze with a bunch of things shooting from the ceiling, some animated pants and furniture. Well, you know, phantom pants are kind of fun, I guess. But you'll spend a lot of time backtracking if you don't use a map or memorize the level. So, you know, those are options you have. I played it without using a map or remembering it from 30-some years ago, and let's just say a level that should have taken all of like 3 minutes took me over 40 minutes. It wasn't fun. Anyway, you have the option. Then there's the chameleon boss. And now, Round 7. The Climb. A place with all sorts of sort of horror movie looking creatures wearing masks and some ghosts that just sort of float around. None of the attack patterns here are too impressive, with the exception of that thing, the gargoyle. I do not like the gargoyle, but in any case, it's there. Be prepared. Next, we meet the pun, Royce, who rolls. Rolls-Royce. Yep, they went there. That's pretty much all he does. Empty rooms that tell you to come again, and if you do, they reward you. A few more of these little ghosts. Not too bad. And, I guess they couldn't really go for a hockey mask, so they went with the catcher's mask. Although, in fairness, this is a very baseball-centric game. It definitely is one of the better baseball games on the NES, I'll give them that. Ah yes, welcome, Entrance to Hell. Just what you expect from the Grim Reaper, I guess. One of the more difficult bosses. Then, here it is, Round 8. Home of flying dynamite spirits, and witches, and stars. Yep, that is the final stage in the game. Bunch of flying dynamite, witches, and stars. Let's check out some of these bosses. We have the indescribable, yeah, whatever that was. Okay, that's over. One of the best quotes in the game. Yep, Mark Soup, the Sphinx Head. And of course, the trick. Going left to find one of the bosses here. This actually slowed me down a little bit. Didn't think to go left. But, here we go. A second here, we'll find a church housing the third of this level's bosses, who will have the key to move on. Yeah, the Eye Centipede. Or Eye Dragon? I'm just gonna call him Blinky. There's Blinky. Alright. With Blinky defeated, the only thing left is to open the final door in this game. And here we go. The final boss. Another eyeball thing. I don't know, there's eyes within and without. In any case, this is the last boss. And with that, Mark has done it. He's defeated the horrible eyeball creature, and Bert sends him off with a present. Again, I will remind y'all, I was a young child when I played this, and what happened here is memorably frightening. That's really impressive, given that this is an NES game. You know, there's not a whole lot of horror there. Well, here we go. Yep, Mark was scared and screamed, and then his skin melted off. Yeah, kids game. That whole skin melting off thing stuck with me. Like, In my memory, that was the ending. And off to school he goes, only to find that not everything was a dream. So here we are, as the party's winding down, as they all do. How was it? Great! I mean, some of this is probably nostalgia. I first played this as a 6-year-old and had an amazing time. But I've got to say, overall, looking back at it, having played it again, over 3 decades later, oh, that's scary. Anyway, yeah, the gameplay's really good. It's not an easy game, but it's the NES. I mean, by Nintendo standards, it's pretty tame, really. The whole Nintendo hard thing, that exists for a reason. Level design, no complaints there. Some of them get a little bit redundant, but, this is a platformer from the late 80s. Things happen. There's a lot of creativity, particularly in the boss fights, character design, artwork, while some of the levels may not be the most interesting, they do look good, particularly for the NES. And I've got to say, some of the choices are pretty clever. You actually have to go left in the last round. That's something that didn't happen often, particularly in that era. One of the bosses where you beat it by not fighting, just let the zombies dance. Yeah, that's clever. It does have some annoying moments. Yeah, round 6, I'm looking at you. Not my favorite. But again, overall great game, particularly when you take into account the era and the hardware. Yeah, I'm going to give this one a solid 8.5. So yeah, definitely recommend it. Unfortunately, it hasn't been re-released. And that should definitely happen. This thing deserves a lot more attention than it's getting. But hey, I mean, you can find used copies, NES and other knockoff systems that play NES games are readily available. So yeah, if you want to check it out, definitely go for it. Worth your time. And if you haven't played an NES game before, this can be a great introduction. Again, you get some of that difficulty, but it's not overwhelming. Once you memorize some of the attack patterns and where things are found, it's definitely a game you'll be able to beat. Thanks for watching, and as always, these ain't your granddad's games. They're your dad's. Okay, to be fair, given when the game came out and the system it was for, yeah, this could have been your granddad's game, but you know what? He didn't play it. I did. It's my childhood memory.